break it to us, Kevin. How much better are the Suns than the Mavericks in your perspective?
Well, I mean, they went to the finals last year, and they got Paul, and so they've got some things the Mavericks don't have. But listen, I mean, they had no answer for Luka last night, and really, if one person steps up for the Mavs and plays like they did in that Utah series, this game is a lot different looking. Now, I don't know if Phoenix took their foot off the gas, and they may have in that fourth quarter, when the Mavs came back and really kind of began to lock into a very ultra-small lineup. But it worked, and I think it gives them a lot of hope. Listen, Phoenix was the best team in the NBA this year by 8 games. That's how good they were. There was not a big separation and past, number 1 overall seeds, but there was this year, and it was 8 games. They're terrific, and the Suns, don't get me wrong, they check every box. Great leader, Hall of Fame point guard, check. All NBA player, Booker, check. Rim protector, guy inside who has a good shot at the other end, check. And Ayton. Outstanding bench, maybe the best in the NBA, check. Like they get it. They play at a terrific pace. They're all hungry. They were in the finals a year ago. They had this, uber successful regular season. I get all that. But the Mavs have come off like the Suns in a 6-game series. They had to win that deciding game on the road. They had to do it with incredible performances like the Suns did. Utah was the number 1 offense in the NBA going into the playoffs. They took care of that. They'll make adjustments, and they'll be a better team, more competitive team tomorrow. But listen, the game felt further apart than it probably was as we got down to those final couple minutes. They're within striking distance. Had one person gotten in there, and I know Kleber was hitting early on, but like a Dinwiddie or certainly Brunson, that game's a lot different last night. And they had no answer for Luka. So I take that with some rebounding on my mind and picking up the pace perhaps is 2 of the things to add on that make the Mavs, a kind of a compelling story going into tomorrow's game 2.
Kevin, last night, Reggie talked about maybe the adjustment needs to be picking up Phoenix more higher on defense. Is that something that you guys maybe talked about after the game? And, I know that, you loosen your ties and you talk about what you saw and stuff, but I thought it was interesting he mentioned that defensively, that maybe that the Mavericks need to pick that defense up a little higher. Don't let Phoenix get settled into running their offense.
It's like when you're running downhill, those first couple strides
Sure.
get you going, and now you're off and running, right? So if you leave Paul or Payne or any of the other, fleet-footed Suns, and they are a fast team, quick-twitch team, if you give any of them that out of the blocks with nothing in their way, they're going to charge and get down court in a hurry and not let you get set up defensively. So, when New Orleans did that against Paul, and when New Orleans did that against whoever was bringing up the ball, they clogged that start. So the Suns then began their offensive sets later on in the clock. Mm-hmm. They were able, as the series went on, to figure out different ways around it, but it was clearly a way to put the brakes on them. And I think that, now, listen, you're exerting a lot to play them all 94 feet, and you've got to have a lot of bodies coming, a lot of energy coming off that bench or in your starting group to play that kind, but it does wear them down. And Chris Paul, who will be 37 in this series, in fact, in just a couple of days, he'll turn 37. The more body, the more he feels you, it affects him. It affected him against New Orleans, even though he was able to work through it. But it changed the way the Suns wanted to play, and it kept New Orleans in that series, and they were tied at 2-2. And there was not a great deal of difference between those teams. They rebounded better, New Orleans did. They were far more aggressive and physical. I expect those will be the things that Jason's going to implement and try to change up, because now it's Dallas's move. What are they going to do to adjust? And I think those would be some of the things they'll really concentrate on in their walk through today and when we see him tip it off tomorrow night.
Do you think Luka needs to go through a long process into his late 20s, early 30s to become the kind of guy that can lead a team to a championship? Do you buy into that narrative about who wins titles in the association?
He had so much, Gavin, success as a kid in Europe. He's won on so many different levels of European basketball. He's had such instantaneous success in this league. I mean, like, instantaneous. And he got my vote again for first team All-NBA again. He's remarkable. And he may be 23, but his mind looks like it's 33. Like his movements on the floor, his confidence in probing and in trying to read a situation. Like he set up opponents, with his moves. He set up his teammates with passes, and he got his own shooting. He's incredible. There's not another player in the league like him now. Like when Michael was that age and Kobe was that age, and I'm not comparing them, but in just degrees of success. Like those guys, like the torque that they moved and the quick twitch was just like whoa, like we hadn't seen really that. We saw Dr. J and we saw Bird and we saw Magic, but like we didn't see, like David Thompson was a little but like the league when they saw Jordan and then followed by Kobe, like that torque and that change, and that stop on a dime type of stuff, that was like earth shattering. Like Doncic is so different. Like you think he's moving slowly, but when he's moving, he's thinking at twice the speed of his moves. Does that make sense? Like like his mind is like 3 steps ahead of where he's going to go, and he's so clever. Like there is not enough. I have not seen another player like him. My first year in the NBA was 1982, and I'm over 3 decades in the league. I was out for 4 years, and but I've never seen a player like him. Like McGrady, athletically longer, leaner. Like I'm not trying to, but like McGrady wasn't really quick twitch. He was kind of like he was kind of sleepy-eyed looking, slow, like he would kind of pick and choose and let it marinate a little bit and then make his move. Then it would explode. And Luka has some of those same kind of characteristics, but like he is fascinating to watch. Like I cannot wait till tomorrow night to see, what like little adjustments he'll make. He's amazing. Like he is a once in a generation, maybe once in a 2-generation player. I've never seen a guy move like he does and get success the way he does without really like just making like your eyes just like dart back and forth. He's not that kind of guy. As we know, he's a different kind of guy that the league has not really seen before.
All right, Kevin, I have to ask you this question. What makes a great call of a disruption of a game? The guy's got a bra on the field. You're wearing a bra, sir. What are you doing? What makes a great disruption call?
Well,
because you're legendary at it.
Well, making it organic and in the moment. Like those are all on radio, and a great radio call is finding the right words with the right tone, at the right pace to make it all come together and being in the moment, but letting it happen organically. On TV, like we don't see the interloper, so that's not going to happen. But on TV, what you've got this great orchestra, and that's the crowd.
Right.
And when you can let the crowd be the backfill and fill in and bring it to that crescendo, and you time that as a play-by-play guy, that really is the ultimate. So radio and TV are so different. Radio, you've got so much that you've got to do, so many buttons you got to push on just a simple play to make it come alive for that person, driving by themselves, and their only companion is the radio or the sound of your voice. On TV, the play-by-play guy is fourth, right? It's the picture, and then it's probably the analyst describing why that play worked or didn't, then the graphics and the replays and all the bells and whistles, and then comes the play-by-play guy, where, like you can see it's a great dunk, but how can you frame it in such a way, and one of the best ways to do it is just let the crowd take it after a sensational 3 by Luka or a drive by Dinwiddie or Brunson kind of coming up with some kind of magical move to get a play that makes a difference. And that's when you let the crowd kind of take over. So there are different ways of doing it, and you got to let your mind kind of adjust, I think, depending on the medium that you're on that night.
It's Kevin Harlan with you here on 105 through the Fan, calling MavsSuns on TNT. Nick in Fort Worth texted into the show, Kevin. He says, Kevin's words are giving me hope after last night. I think a lot of people appreciated what you had to say about Luka and the Mavs' chances.
Listen. Now, Phoenix is the hardest team to play in the league because they're so deep, and they've got like I said, they got every component of a good team. Check, right on down the line. But listen, no one expected the Mavs to be in the second round. They did. That was a goal early in the season. So they've already had a 50-win season. They've made the second round. They changed on the fly with a first-year coach, getting a feel for what this new culture is going to be like. If I'm a Mavs fan, I'm feeling great, and I'm enjoying this series. I'm enjoying my young superstar who's already so decorated. I'm enjoying this is just another chapter for him to read and get examined on and watch him grow, because he will carry this on for years to come. It's great that he's getting this against this team and against that point guard and against this great Phoenix team this early. But in these playoffs, anything can happen. So I'm not waving the white flag. I'm just saying, this is time to enjoy. This is like the pregame show of what's to come. I really think this is like the best is yet to come. But man, isn't this great seeing what they're doing, knocking off Mitchell, making him ineffective in the first round, figuring out how to deal with Gobert, knocking down the number 1 rated offense, coming to these guys. Yeah, give us your best, and this is the best the league has to offer, is Phoenix. And watching them combat it and letting them do their thing and grow with every dribble. And we saw them grow in the midst of last night from the first to the fourth quarter. They'll be different tomorrow night, and it'll be fun to watch, and I'm excited to see the adjustments they make.